in bed and pour a drink of me, and let your friends think you're developing a problem, but we're happier than it could be. And if there wasn't always something dragging us down, like everyone around us saying we're just messing around. Then maybe I can love you, babe, but maybe I'm too afraid of getting.
Okay, let us talk about gimbals. So what are gimbals? Gimbals are essentially camera rigs. Camera rigs that have motors and equal either 2 to 3 axis of stabilization. Meaning you can go left, right, up and down, move all around and not have shaky footage. That's what a gimbal does. Now what's cool about our day and age, especially with YouTube, is we're able to use incredible smartphones with proper cameras. I don't know if you have noticed this, but I have shot tons of this footage on my iPhone. I have 2 iPhones. One I use for like B-roll and time lapses, and I also have another one that I use for gimbal shots. It's a higher resolution camera, so I'm able to use it for more cinematic results. And that's what we're talking about today. Showing you 6 cinematic ways to use a phone gimbal. Now, if this is something that you're wanting to invest in, great, I think it's amazing. Take my footage as an example of what gimbals can actually do. All those stabilization shots that you're seeing, that you have been seeing in this series, Create Not Perfect, 70% of it was gimbal shot footage. So what's in my hand is a Zhiyun Smooth Q 3-axis stabilization phone gimbal. That's a tongue twister. And what I'm gonna show you today is 6 ways to use this gimbal to create cinematic results on your smartphone. I got my first 100 subscribers by creating tech reviews and creator tutorials to support you guys in that sense, and I don't want to get away from that, so what better way to kind of mix it in, I guess. Do you need a gimbal? The simple answer to that is, well, it depends. If you're trying to create content that has great cinematic results, something that you may want to release outside of just YouTube, something that you may want to take more seriously, then yeah, you probably may need a gimbal or some type of camera stabilizer. There's not just gimbals, there's actual stabilizers, which are just handheld stabilizers. So there's that. But the best way to answer that question is, do you need stable footage? Here's what I mean by that. That sounds kind of weird, but if you're vlogging, you kind of forgive the shakiness of the camera in a lot of senses. So it may not be something you actually need for vlogs, because sometimes shaky footage can create a different effect. Now with this guy, you can do both, and that's what I'm going to show you. Okay, so with all that said, let's go ahead and take it over to Future Ben so he can show us the 6 cinematic ways we're going to use this thing for a phone.
And thank you, Past Ben. I am Benjamin Brand, and this is a value session to focus on 6 cinematic ways to use a phone gimbal. What I'll be using today is the Zhiyun Smooth Q phone gimbal, compatible with just about any smartphone, but not a tablet. I am also using an iPhone 6s today, Quiet Bird, and an Achinger smartphone macro lens. And for those of you who are watching the Create Not Perfect series currently at this point in time, I just released a short film called The Collab, in which I'm bringing back a special guest who was kind of a dick to me in that video, Mr. Mickey Mouse himself. That awesome character was, yes, a dick to me, and he will be volunteering his tribute for this particular demonstration. And as always, any gear that I ever use that you see in these videos is linked in the description below for you to look at and enjoy for yourself. I'm just saying. Let us start with zoom. Zoom shots are essentially push-in and pull-out shots. It adds emotion or importance to your subject, along with revealing any area of space in which your subject arrives. Also really good to portray an isolation feeling. Tilt in Skyfall. For Skyfall, your frame starts up in the sky, tilts all the way down, revealing your subject in a more emotional feel. And this shot here reveals the subject's environment in which he stands. And this one gives you more of a suspense tone as we are revealing the subject and the environment together slowly. You can also reverse that with the ground shot, capturing more of the emotion with the eyes. Dolly slides. Now, as we don't have a real dolly here, we're able to capture the exact effect of a dolly with a gimbal. Using lateral movements, you're able to display more of the scenery while keeping your subject within the frame. And here's what the final product looks like.
I'm not that brave.
Following in track shots. And the purpose of these shots is to establish where your subject is going. Following them either from the front or their back, you're able to establish exactly where they're going, and this is the result. You can also use the rule of thirds by tracking your subject from their side profile. Toe to head. So this one is simple. You start from the toes and tilt to the head. This is a style movement shot, meaning it's not going to portray an exact emotion, but will give you a tasteful look in your video. Mouse shot? Yes, it's called a mouse shot, no pun intended. Another style shot, the purpose is to create a more cinematic feel when you're tracking your subject by pointing the camera towards their feet. And I believe that's all I have for you guys today. Let's go ahead and bring it back to Past Ben so he can wrap it up in the nice, beautiful studio background.
And we're back in the fancy background he mentioned. Thanks, Future Ben.
You're welcome.
So, hopefully that helped. Hopefully you now understand how you can use, if you have a gimbal, how you can use this to create cinematic shots. Cinematic shots is a different style. Understand that. Not every shot you take is going to be cinematic. And it's because not every shot you're going to take you want to be cinematic. Vlogs are not really cinematic. They're real, they're raw. Cinematic is more film-like. It's more Scorsese, it's more Hitchcock, it's more Kubrick. These are the guys who are masters at cinematography. They rely on cinematic shots to tell the story. I'm gonna stop. I hope this was helpful. This was fun to create. That's what it's all about. I will see you tomorrow, and we will do this again in some other way, shape, or form. So, bye. Here's some other cool, fun cinematic shots for you.